Good morning. Today we got a quick question on how to add part numbers to your toolbox, and we're just going to jump through a quick tutorial on that today. The first thing to do is that we're going to configure our toolbox. So you're not going to change the actual part number, you're going to change the toolbox itself. There are two ways to get to that. You can come to your design library. You can then go to your toolbox. Sometimes it'll have an add in here. You have to add it in. You select that. It'll take a couple seconds, but then this will pop up. And then just drill down into the part that you want. So we're just going to come on in here, right-click on it, and hit Configure. Alternatively, you can come up into your settings, go to Options, come down to Whole Wizard and Toolbox, and hit the Configure button here. And this will tell you the location of which toolbox you're working in as well. Either way will get you to the same window. So I did click this. It does take a little while to pop up, so we're going to go ahead and cut here, and I'll come back when it's popped in. As we can see here, it's now popped up. Sometimes it doesn't come to the front, so go ahead and just keep looking for this little bolt in your toolbar, and then it'll come up. You can go through everything, including your whole wizard, but we're going to start with hardware. Okay, so the first thing that I would suggest is creating your own toolbox. So you can see here, I have a toolbox with a name on it, and I have fasteners and O-rings. There's nothing in there yet, but we'll show you how easy it is to copy and paste. So I'm going to be working in standard or inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the screw that I want. So I want a socketed set screw, and I want a cup point. Those are the only ones that I particularly draw. Feel free to start with the ones that you like, but I'm only going to use the fasteners that I use since there's so many here. I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to come into fasteners, and I'm going to paste that. So now I have my own version of it, and that's the one I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and save it, and then we're going to start editing this part. We'll open it up, and the first thing we're going to do is change the standard properties. We're going to come into drive type. I don't like spline, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that from the library. And then for thread display, I'm going to go ahead and just do simplified again. That's just going to take a lot less space on my computer when I'm running things, when I have hundreds of set screws in some of my assemblies. You can also do things to change your thread data, change your length, change different sizes again if you're never going to use a knot. You know, if you're not going to use these little ones or use the really big ones, you can remove those. I'm going to go ahead and leave them in for now. From here on out, you could absolutely come in here and type in every part number, every description, every comment, but that just sounds like hell. So instead, we're going to go ahead and export all this data. So we're going to export it. We have a file here. We're going to go ahead and save that data. This will just take a few seconds. There it is. And we'll go ahead and open that file. We just exported it. Let me open that up. All right, so as you can see that it'll export as an Excel file. And this is just a lot easier for data entry. Again, if you wanted to go and handwrite all these, you're more than welcome to. I highly suggest using equations and string additions. So what I would do is just start by changing these from text. Select both of them and switch them to a number. This is important because it won't calculate the function if it's not an actual number. So we'll do an equal sign, and then we'll type the string that we really want. So for a part number, I want this to be the size by the size, an x, lowercase x. Actually, no, I want it size dash length dash set screw. We hit equal sign, and we can see that that's what's going to type in. Now, we'll just go ahead and put in values here. So instead of being the word size, we're going to go ahead and select the size. Then we'll start the quotes. Oh, excuse me. We'll add an ampersand to add the next string in. We'll do a quote around the dash. So another ampersand on this side. We'll select the length. Another ampersand and the quote, and then dash set screw is just going to be a string, so we'll leave that as is. All right, so now we can see we have the size, the length, and what it is. So for the length, I only want that to be 3 digits. You can see a lot of these go to 4, so we're just going to round those using the round function. We'll take that to 3 digits. All right, so now we have, again, size, a rounded value, and a set screw. For the description, I want that to be a little prettier, so I'm going to change that to be a fraction. So for the description, I want this thing to say set screw, end quote, ampersand. We're going to go ahead and grab the size, ampersand. We're going to do an X in this. So we'll go X. Then we'll do another ampersand. We'll grab the length and we'll see how that looks. Again, we can see we have everything. I want a space in here just so it's a little cleaner. And you know what? I'm going to do a space around the X as well. Oops. Got rid of my quote mark there. So we will put the quote mark, put a space, enter. All right, I like that. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to format that number to be a fraction. So we're going to use the text function, and then we have to write the format that we want. So we're going to do pound symbol, space, question mark, dash, question mark, question mark. So 2 question marks because I want to go 2 decimal places. Oh, let's see where that formula is. Let's see here. Oh, that is the issue. So you need to put this inside quotes. There we are. So now we can see that that says by 1/16. We'll grab both of those and we'll run to the bottom of the page. We'll just kind of do some spot checking in here, making sure everything looks good. Last thing you need is that this book isn't going to input if these are equations. So we'll select both F and G. We'll copy them or cut them. Doesn't really matter. Well, we'll copy them. Copy. And then we're going to paste special, and we want just the values. We want to get rid of the equations. We want just the values added in. So now if you highlight them, you'll see that this is a string of text and not the equation that we wrote. We'll go ahead and save this. We'll go ahead and close this. And then we'll come back to where we exported and hit import. We don't want to rename it. We want it to have the same name as it came in. So don't rename anything. Leave as is. You can see that it's currently importing. And there we go. So it imported all the part numbers, all the descriptions. One thing to note, every single part needs a different part number. It's one of the reasons why I turned off spline, because that gives you a double for your drive type, and it's also why I went to a single display type. Again, just getting rid of a whole bunch of chuff, and I only need the part numbers for these ones. So we'll save it. Let's see if there are any issues. It's saved well, so we'll go ahead and close it. We'll go ahead and close this. We'll look at our toolbox. Now that we saved our toolbox, we can come on down. We can see that there's my folder and there's fasteners. Here's the set screw that we just created. I'll go ahead and add that into this assembly. There it is. We're going to go ahead and just leave it at that one. That's perfectly fine. We'll hit OK. It'll try to add a whole bunch more. We'll hit escape to end that wizard. Let's go ahead and make a quick drawing. Of course, the drawing is of a single set screw right now. And we'll go ahead and insert a bill of materials. Yes, please. There it is. Okay, so we see we have the part number. For some reason, my bill of numbers doesn't have a description, so we'll go ahead and insert a column to the right. We'll add in the description. All right. So now we can see that that's the part number that I programmed in. That's the description that I programmed in, exactly what we did it through the toolbox. So let's say we need to change this. Open this assembly, and let's say we need a much larger set screw. So we'll go ahead and right-click on this, edit in Toolbox Components. If you're trying to do that and you get an error, it might be that you don't have it added in. Just come on over here, add in your toolbox, and then you can go ahead and do that. We're going to scroll on down. Let's say we need a 1/4 by 1/2 inch. There we go. We'll hit OK on that. We will do a quick save. We'll close this one. We can see that it updated in size. It got much larger. And we can also see the part number and description updated. So that's going to do it for this tutorial. We will go through another tutorial adding custom numbers or custom properties to this part. That'll be the next tutorial. Have a good day.